we start everything off with a prayer. So we've got Angela Potts Maganda here, and she is, we call it the pilot. She's our pilot today. She's also our prayer. And Angela is one of the certified spiritual counselors in the Power of Love community. She's a member of the staff. She's a core member of our community care team. She's a blessing to us all. And so glad she's here with us today. And she's going to kick us off with a prayer.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I would love to actually ask our musical guest, how can I pronounce your name so I do it correctly? Because I don't know, I'm sorry.
It's Malu.
Malu. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so grateful to place my hand on my heart, to relax into my precious being in this precious space that we are creating together. So grateful for the love of God, the love of spirit, the love of the universe for each and every one of us. We are opening ourselves to that love. We're so grateful for Jennifer for being here, for holding the space, and for sharing her powerful message, knowing spirit speaks through her and that she so courageously listens and transmutes and shares freely what she receives. We're so grateful Malu is here with her gifts and talents, with her light, knowing spirit is flowing through her music. So we're grateful that we have decided to be here, that we have loved ourselves enough to be here, to be in this space of love, to receive all that's here for us. We're grateful that these gifts, these messages help us remember the truth of our being, which is pure light and love. And so as we are lifted here today, we are declaring a willingness to go out and share that freely with the world, with our brothers and sisters, remembering the oneness of life. We're giving thanks. We sit back, relax, and enjoy in gratitude, and we let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And as we're getting started, Angela had put in the chat to invite you to say what your intention is here today, what you'd like to anchor in your life today. I love also to know where you're joining us from. So if you take a minute and put that into the chat for us, it'll allow us to connect even more. And I am going to introduce Malu Swart, who is our musical inspiration today. She's a Dutch singer-songwriter who lives in Spain, and she just released her first album, Songs of Forgiveness. So we'll find out how to get that. I'm sure we're all going to be interested in that by the time we're done with this service. Malu has felt the need to sing since she was young as a way to express and deal with her feelings. Although, when she was 9, she sang in a famous Dutch TV show with solo performances and attended preliminary musical training at the age of 16, she felt inspired to follow another big quest in her life first, and that's spirituality. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Religion and has a Master in Spiritual Care. After 10 years of practicing yoga and Vipassana meditation and being a mindfulness trainer, A Course in Miracles showed up in her life. This gave her a connection to both the peace and stillness of meditation and the love of and for God. The sincere desire to discover truth through singing came up in a meeting with Dutch course teacher Koos Janssen. From that moment, songs have been given to her from Source. Miraculously, they play in her head, she writes them down, and so they are born for all of us to remember who we truly are. So, Malu, welcome, thank you, and we are ready to receive one of your first musical gifts for us.
Thank you so much for having me, for this beautiful introduction. Thank you. I feel honored to be here with you. Yes. First song I'm going to play for you is from a lesson from A Course in Miracles. It's lesson 268. It's Let All Things Be Exactly as They Are. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let me not be your critic, Lord, today, and judge against you. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let me not attempt to interfere with your creation, distorted into sickly forms. Let all things be exactly as they are. Let me be willing to withdraw my wishes from its unity. Just let it be as you created it. Let all things be exactly as they are, for thus will I be able to recognize myself as you created it. You created me. Let all things be exactly as they are. In love was I created, and in love will I remain forever and ever. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are? Let all things be exactly as they are. What can frighten me when I let all things be exactly as they are? Thank you.
Wow. Wow, what a great start for us. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Malu. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what a blessing. What a blessing. Yes, what a blessing. Let all things be exactly as they are. One of the most prevalent ego tangents that we can run away with is thinking that things should be different than they are, wishing that they were different than they are. That is something that can really take us off track. And it's so easy to do, to spend our whole day thinking things would be better if they were different. And of course they can be different, but sitting there thinking this would be better if it's different sure doesn't make it better. And it doesn't make it different either. It just leaves us in a state of lack and limitation. And that is the whole essence of the ego thought system, is lack and limitation, that we're cut off from source, and so it's a never-ending experience of lack and limitation. And we come together to remember that there is no lack and there is no limitation except for what we believe in and what we project onto the world. And the thing for us is to come away from our thoughts about the world, to go within to our heart, into our mind, and turn away from our thoughts about the world. And this has actually been a key part of my spiritual practice. It was particularly helpful to me for a number of years when I was caught more deeply, intensely in the ego thought system. I would interrupt that pattern of evaluating the world and analyzing the world and thinking that things should be different. And I have a number of ways that I learned to interrupt that pattern in my mind. And so I learned to say to myself things like, when I think, I wish it were different, I would say to myself, but the way things are is particularly designed for me to have a healing now, to have a realization now, to have an awakening now. So why would I like it to be different? Why am I looking for something to be different when everything I need is within me, and that Spirit has given me the power of love right now? It's challenging to recognize that choosing love is the way to... Joy Leon's laughing at Bodhi barking. Bodhi! Bodhi! It's so rare that she barks. Bodhi! Don't know what she's got going on there. Come here, boo-boo. What are you going to do? Probably not a bear in the front yard. Probably not. And certainly probably not much at all going on. Yes. Hi, Bodhi. Let me see if I can wrangle her if she keeps it up. Being able, like even in this moment, right? I could say, oh, I wish it were different. It would be better if Bodhi wasn't barking. But how do I know that? How could I possibly know it would be better if Bodhi wasn't barking? How do I know that? To me, being able to accept what is and to recognize that this moment now, what is happening right now is where my gifts are, because the only place my gifts are is now. So it is extreme spiritual mastery to be able to sit in this moment now and say that what is for me. What is a gift from God for me. What is the outpicturing of my thoughts, and it is showing me what my thoughts are right now. I have an opportunity for healing, for expansion, for receiving the gifts of God, for being at peace right here, right now, no matter what. How do we get to be at peace in our mind no matter what without challenges? I don't, for me, the challenges give me the opportunities to strengthen. Just like lifting a weight will give my muscles an opportunity to strengthen. And I've seen it so many times in a spiritual counseling situation where someone will say to me in a session, what they'd really like is they'd like to have the patience of God, to be able to be patient no matter what. And then they'll come back for a counseling session in a few weeks, and they'll say, oh my God, everything is challenging me. It's crazy. It seems like everywhere I turn, there's a challenge. Somebody is doing something that's making me crazy, and these people are just nuts. These people have so many problems, and my relationships are so challenging. It's just insane, and I don't know what to do. I'm thinking of getting rid of some of these friends. They're not true friends, and maybe I'll just stop speaking to my sister, my brother, my mother, my father for a while, because I just can't handle all their intensity. And I gently remind them, do you remember when you were here 3 weeks ago and you said you really wish to cultivate extraordinary patience? Can you see how these situations, these challenges are your answered prayer? Because you have the opportunity in the moment to recognize that you could choose peace instead of thinking that there's something wrong with these people, that they should be doing it differently, that everything is working together for us right now exactly as it is, that we are in the love of God right now, and there's nowhere else for us to go. So we can turn away from people, but they're sent. I always think every person in my life is sent from heaven with a holy purpose, and vice versa. And if I'm trying to force myself into somebody's life or force myself into a situation, I'm not in trust. And trust is the number one characteristic of God's teachers. I am going to go get her, though. Hang on. What you doing, boo? What you doing? Come here. Come on. Oh. Come. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. What are you doing? Come on. Where are you? Okay, come on. Yeah, there you are. Come on, come on. Come, 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 come. Okay. All right. My parents had a golden retriever that would do that sometimes, inexplicably. So, she's good now. She's resting, and let's show you here. That little sign above her head says, pray about everything, worry about nothing. Pray about everything, worry about nothing. So, that's what she's doing. She's praying, not worrying. So, everything is perfect exactly as it is. And we ruin our chance for happiness if we think it's not perfect. But it's so tempting to think it's not perfect. I remember once for a friend's birthday, I said, I'd like to make you a cake for your birthday. And he said, well, my favorite cake is angel food cake. So I made my first ever angel food cake, and it came out like angel food bricks. And I mean, it was just hard. It was the opposite of angel food cake. So I made another one. And I could say that that was a disaster, it was a mistake, but I don't know what anything is for. And many things are for the opportunity for us to watch, where does our mind go? Does it go to complaining, victimization, blaming? Does it go to thinking that something's wrong with us? And for some folks, the tendency to go to something is wrong with us is very, very strong. And so how are we going to go the other way and to break that habit, that attraction to thinking that because of what's happening in the world, it's proof that there is something wrong with us? Because that was something that I did every day. I'd look at things in the world and I would say, because of this, I have proof that something is wrong with me. And it took me maybe 10 or 15 years of knowing or believing that I was not seeing the truth. I was seeing my projection, that because I believed something was wrong with me, I was seeing things in the world and interpreting them as proof of what I believed. But they weren't proof in the sense that what I believed was true. It was only proof that I believed it. I was seeing it because I believed it, not because it was true. And even though I understood that for a long time, I still was in the habit of interpreting things and saying, aha, there is the proof that there's something wrong with me. There is the proof that I'm bad, that I'm not good. And it took a great willingness to say, okay, the facts are everyone is perfect love. That's what we all are. And if I would like to label myself or anyone else differently than perfect love, I'm making something up. Why do I want to make up stories that make me unhappy? Why do I want to make up stories that make me feel angry? Why do I want to make up stories that make me feel afraid and worried and bereft and going into despair? Why am I interested in sending myself on these emotional tangents when it's just not necessary? And so one of the things is that we're hiding from God. That the magnificence of the Christ light within each one of us carries with it a profound opportunity. It's a profound opportunity. And many of us know where in our heart we have a gift, we have a talent, because everybody has genius, everybody. And if you think that you don't or somebody else doesn't, you're mistaken. And for some reason you like the idea that there's lack and limitation, and that's the whole foundation of the ego thought system. Like I was saying before, we're looking for it all the time and projecting it onto all kinds of situations. But everybody has genius, and there are many different kinds of genius. And we know historically that when the Industrial Revolution came along, that the owners of the factories needed people who could speak English and who could do basic math. Decent English skills, being able to read and do math, these were the most important things that the owners of the factories needed in their employees. And so our educational system became focused on creating or generating folks who could get jobs in factories and be good workers. Now, we could have all kinds of ideas about whether that was good or bad or right or wrong. No, it doesn't matter, because, in a sense, because it's what happened. And so most people, if their gift was, let's say, I have a gift for understanding people's feelings. I have a gift for understanding people's feelings as part of my genius, understanding people's feelings and their thought patterns. So better for me not to work in a factory, right? I'm good at English and math too, but I have a genius for understanding feelings and thought patterns. And another person who has a genius for understanding spatial relationships or geometry or another person who has a genius for understanding aspects of light or sound, music, different kinds of gifts and talents, they were not cherished as much. They were not nurtured as much. And so people began to think that this is better and this is not. And to me, where it says in A Course in Miracles that about the tiny mad idea at which the Son of God forgot to laugh, to me that tiny mad idea is that there's a better than and a less than, when there cannot be, because all is one. It cannot be better than and less than when all is one. But we can make up these stories about better than and less than from our preferences, from based on what we need or think we need, what we think we want, all of this. We can make up all kinds of ideas about what's better than and less than. But each one of us has genius in our makeup, in our fundamental being, and each one of us is perfect love, perfect light, the Christ light. And the attraction to thinking that someone is not, that I am not, is very, very strong. That is the essence of the ego thought system. Again, lack and limitation. That we're not the Christ, we're not the light, we're not perfect love. Something's missing. Something is lacking. And so because this thought is so strong in our awareness, we're looking for it all the time. In fact, we seem to be obsessed by it. But the antidote really is that nothing is missing. Everything is here now. We all live at the very center of the mind of God. And our mind is the mind of God. I like to say my mind is the mind of God. My heart is the heart of God. My life is the life of God. My very hand is the hand of God in this world. So let me be used by Infinite Spirit to be truly helpful every day in every way. And in doing that, we find our life purpose, because that is our life purpose. That's why I say the truly helpful prayer is the purpose prayer, my purpose prayer. That's my interpretation of it, that I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent the one who sent me. And I don't have to wonder or worry or fret or strain about what to do or what to say or where to go or when to go, because the one who sent me will direct me. So my job is to listen to those directions, to be available for those directions. And it seems hard to imagine when we're ego identified. It seems hard to imagine that that could be satisfying, that being a follower could be satisfying. As we say, no, it's my ideas. And it's like if you have a young child, they reach a certain age and the sentence that comes out of their mouth is, I do it, and this is mine. And it's all about establishing who we are and our identity as being unique and having what we want and what we think we need. But when we reach a greater spiritual maturity, we realize that is no longer interesting. Being able to say, I did it, this is my idea, becomes totally uninteresting to the evolving spiritual person or the awakening spiritual person. What becomes interesting to us is being able to say, yes, Spirit is moving through me. Divine intelligence and wisdom is giving me directions. I'm following those directions. And it becomes so exciting. I am listening, I am following, and I know that I'm listening, I know that I'm following, because I feel at peace. because I feel being drawn. I feel my heart opening. Many of us have experiences where we can literally feel our heart chakra opening, and it feels painful. It feels good and painful at the same time. Sometimes we can be with another person or listening to music like Malu's beautiful music, or we can be listening to a prayer or someone speaking, and we can be sitting in nature and we can feel our heart opening, 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 opening. And in the Course, Jesus tells us there's just one requirement for all of this, and it's just a willingness. It's the willingness to accept what we already are. And it's the willingness to accept what our brothers and sisters already are, and not to project onto ourselves or others. And being able to trust is so, so helpful. I'd like to share my friend Ted there. He and I were talking earlier today, and we were talking about lesson 189, which has this paragraph many of us know very, very well, that's so helpful to us. And lesson 189 is, I feel the love of God within me now. I feel the love of God within me now. And I've talked with so many spiritual students over the years who have said to me privately, I can't feel love. I can't feel love. I don't feel anything, any kind of God connection. I don't feel anything. And they're looking to feel things in their bodies, which is totally understandable, because we speak so often of, I feel this, I feel that, talking about spiritual connection. And so many spiritual students feel that they're failing because they don't have a sense of feeling it. And I had a conversation with somebody else recently talking about feeling love, feeling inspiration. We think we feel it in our body, but we don't. We don't. It's just how we can comprehend it is that we're feeling it in our body. But we are light beings. We are energy beings. And we really don't feel things in the body. We feel them in our energetic system, if you will, in our energy bodies, in the subtle bodies, the emotional body, the mental body. And yes, the physical body is a subtle energy body. But what we feel, it's not in the body. The spiritual awakening and opening, it just seems like it's in the body. But we can get hung up on not being able to feel things. So what I share with people is, if you feel like you can't feel love, you don't have these feelings that people are talking about all the time, and you're looking to feel some activity in the body, we're looking for phenomena. Because somehow if we experience phenomenon like being able to levitate, or phenomenon like being able to receive intuition, hear voices, to see angels and figures and things like that, to be able to experience things in that way of phenomenon, we think somehow it's spiritually better. And I'm here to say that it's very possible, because I know a lot of people who've done it, it's very possible to become extremely distracted by phenomenon and to chase phenomenon. And only ego-identified folks would be doing that, because the ego is always looking for some kind of proof, right? Some kind of thing that's validating to us. But the truth is, I choose the joy of God, I feel the love of God within me now. we might not actually feel it when we start energizing, I feel the love of God within me now. But we can be willing. We can be willing. Because who can really define what feeling the love of God in me now feels like? Is it going to be exactly the same for everybody? It's not. It's not. So let's not get hung up on what experiences other people are having and comparing. In Masterful Living, we say compare and despair. The main thing is for us to choose love. We are willing to experience the love of God because love is what we are. So we are willing to experience ourselves, and not phenomena, but our true identity, our true nature. And in order to be able to feel it and to experience it, we have to be willing to acknowledge the truth, which sometimes we can only do for a fleeting moment. Sometimes we can only do it for other people, but not yet for ourselves. Because the truth is, we are perfect. We are perfect. Who is willing to work with the affirmation, I am perfect. I am as holy can be. I'm already there. I'm already free. I'm already a genius. I'm already awake. I'm awake, dreaming I'm asleep, dreaming I'm awake. It's a crazy rabbit hole we've gone down. And if we can remember to laugh, we can help ourselves get back there. So being able to sit in the moment and say, I'm willing to feel the love of God, the joy of God, the peace of God, fully and completely, to remember who I am and who my brothers and sisters are. I'm willing to follow divine direction. These are scary thoughts to the ego-identified person. They really are. They will make the ego-identified person tremble and run the other way. Because the fear is that God is going to ask me to live my life in a different way. And the truth is that's right. That's right. Your higher self, if you let the higher self in, you will be asked to live your life in different ways. In different ways. It doesn't mean you have to give up anything that is really worth having. But you will have to give up things that you have made false idols of in order to set yourself free. And that's what people resist. That's what the resistance and the reluctance is all about. And there is a tremendous amount of resistance and reluctance for every spiritual student. That is normal. It is normal. And we can remember to laugh at it and to have patience for it. And we can develop these skills of having patience, remembering to laugh, and some of the things that we have thought were so valuable and so important. Like having six-pack abs, or being without wrinkles, or whatever it is that we think would somehow improve our stature. We can remember to laugh, because this world is an illusion, and in an illusion, the only thing that matters is being able to see beyond it, to really see beyond it, and to see the perfection, the beauty, the magnificence, the wholeness that is in every single one. And there have been many times for me as a spiritual counselor sitting with someone who hated themselves, thought they were worthless, to be able to sit with them and to know and feel so connected to their beauty and their magnificence and their perfection, the Christ light within them. And to be able to anchor that for another human being and say, I understand you're totally convinced that you are these things, And still, no matter how convinced you are, it is not true, and it will never be true. It's just a story that's been made up. And A Course in Miracles tells us we can let go of that story in an instant, in a holy instant. And the one thing that's required to live in that holy instant of healing is the willingness to let go of the things that we've made up. So for me, it's been very helpful in the letting go to make a decision to be a disciple, to be a disciple, to be a follower, to not be the leader. People tell me all the time, they say, oh, you did this, it was brilliant. Oh, this is so amazing, you did this. And I really think, I'm just doing what Spirit's telling me. I'm not coming up with these ideas. These are not my ideas. They're just simply what Spirit is helping me to see, what Spirit is letting me see. My own holiness has all this insight and wisdom, as does everybody else's holiness. I'm interested in it. That's the thing, is I'm really interested in it because it thrills me. It thrills me to know the truth, to hear the truth. That's the thing that lights me up, is the truth. You get to a point where you could have the choice between, let's say, being completely fit, six-pack abs, no wrinkles ever for the rest of your life, or you could know the truth for 1 hour and then come back to it again and again as often as you like. What would you choose? The truth. Because the truth helps you to be free of any idea that six-pack abs is worth having. I mean, if you enjoy whatever exercises you have to do to get six-pack abs, then go for it because you enjoy it. But it's no better than being able to make a really good angel food cake, or a puttanesca, or any other thing that you could make. So in this lesson 189, let me feel the love of God. I feel the love of God within me now. There's the well-known paragraph 7 that says, simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is. All concepts you've learned about the world, all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you ever learned before from anything. Forget this world, forget this course, and come with wholly empty hands unto your God. Is it not God who knows the way to you? You need not know the way to God. Your part is simply to allow all obstacles that you have interposed between yourself and God to be quietly removed forever. So that's the willingness to put it all on the altar. Take everything, our relationships, our physical body, our beliefs, our home, our job, our wealth, our health, everything that we've got, and put it on the altar and say, I'm giving it all to God, and let me enjoy what is helpful to me and take everything that's not helpful to me. That's a bold move, but that's what I moved myself into, because I started to realize that this relationship is not helpful to me. This desire for this thing is not helpful to me. This aspiration for accomplishment in the world is not helpful to me. These are the things that are bothering me. They're splinters in my mind. Let me give it all to God. And it's true that the greatest offering we can make to our Creator is to say, I need nothing. Let me know that. Let me know that. That everything that is I can make use of, that can be helpful to me, it's going to be provided. I'm willing to live in that. Let go and stop thinking that I have to make everything happen. Let me instead receive, receive, receive. Let me allow, allow, allow. And it is a completely different way of living. It is the way of living that is the person who is in trust. Who is in trust and who's willing to be consistent. So that we recognize, oh, I'm feeling disturbed. Why? Because I'm not being consistent with love. I just fell into a hole of lack and limitation thinking, and I can let it, as my teacher says, let all concepts dissolve into the light. So the concept that I need this, or that this is a bad thing, or this is a better thing, let these concepts dissolve into light, and let me just see and recognize the light in myself, the light in the people around me, and that if I am willing, I can be led and I can follow. I can be a disciple. And the first order of business for a disciple is to cultivate the ability to be disciplined. And Michael Beckwith, who was a teacher of mine for many years, he coined the word blisscipline. And I really like that. Let me have a blisscipline today. Let my discipline be to live blissfully. And we can't live blissfully if we're in craving, needing, wanting, that sense of lack. So the lack is a false belief. Everything we need is within us. But if we're afraid to recognize the light within, we will not find the gifts of God today. So I'm going to invite you to join me in an inner focus here. And let's just look at our resistance and reluctance to surrender what we think makes us happy, to surrender what we think we need, what we think we want. Just looking at, do we have this inner strength and courage to surrender these things, to put them on the altar, and to make that part of our practice? And can we see how, where we've got cravings, needing, wanting, in our relationships, in our experiences of abundance and prosperity, in the health and well-being of our body temple, is there craving, wanting, needing? Are we believing that we would be happier if things in the world were different? Are we looking at the world, at our body, at our relationships? It's all part of the world experience. Are we looking at the world of form through eyes that are complaining, that see mostly lack, that have a vision of something missing? Is this the way we're looking at things? Are we the victim of the world we see? Because if that's how we're feeling, that something is missing, that we're a victim of the world we see, we're trying to control, manage, and manipulate things to be different because we think if it's different, we'll be happier. We are deluding ourselves. We're on a wild goose chase. And the happiness comes with the willingness to give up projecting lack into our experience all day, to change our mind and to go the other way by beginning to affirm what we have, that we have the gifts of God. They are within us. We don't have to know how to activate them. We just have to be willing. And we can't be willing to activate the gifts of God within us, the abundance, the prosperity, the beauty, the wisdom, the clarity, the freedom, the joy, the wholeness, the harmony, the beauty, the magnificence, all of that cannot be activated while simultaneously complaining, fretting, comparing. We just can't do both at the same time. So we have to make a choice. It's that, whom will you serve this day? God or Mammon? Mammon is the ego, the personality. There is no lack. Lack is a belief. If we believe it, we see it. If we could change our mind and go the other way and manifest a life that we love, would we accept it? Will we accept the gifts of God today? Are we willing to feel love and to feel beloved? I could choose peace instead of lack. There is no lack. As soon as we stop believing in lack, the lack will disappear. It's part of the illusion. We can choose heaven today. So it's accepting that the world we see is the world we're responsible for. It's our projection. Are we willing to give up lack? Willing to give up wanting, needing, craving? So I'm going to invite Malou, if you're ready, you have another song for us. Let's sit in this contemplative place and listen to another song from Malou.
Only love is real. Open your heart to feel. Open your heart to darkness, just to see it's just to see it ain't there, 'cause only love is real. Only love is real. Open your heart to anger. Open your heart to hate. Just to feel it has no roots, but in a deep mind, 'cause only love is real. Only love is real. So give it all to me. Yeah, give it all to me. 'Cause only love can heal. Ooh. Only love can heal. 'Cause only love is real. Only love is real. Only love is real. So only love can heal. Thank you all.
Thank you. Wow, right into my heart. Ah, wow. Thank you, Malou. So beautiful. So beautiful. So restorative. So we're going to do that thing now that we do here at Sundays with Spirit. We're going to go into our breakout, into our small group. And in the small group, I'm inviting you to talk about what came up for you during the meditation, during the talk. What is it that perhaps you're wanting, needing, craving, watching those feelings, a sense of lack might be pervading some aspect or area of your life or your whole life. For me, it used to be my whole life. It was just one big pool of lack in my mind. And are you willing to give up the wanting, the needing, the craving, and to give up and everything that you think you need, and let Spirit show you the way? Become a disciple. So these are things for conversation in your breakout. And what I invite you is you'll see the clock in the room and how much time there is left. And I invite you just to make sure everybody who would like to share in your breakout gets a chance to share. And you don't have to share. Truly, one of the most healing things for us is to genuinely listen from the heart without judgment. That is one of the most healing things we can do, is listen to our brothers and sisters without judgment and to simply recognize their heart, their light. So let's do that for each other in this time. And Angela's going to open the rooms. And if you don't see a button, look on the bottom bar. Let's see, the buttons aren't up yet. Here they go. So look on the bottom bar. If you don't see a button, you'll see breakout rooms on the bottom bar if you're on a computer, probably under the More menu if you're on your phone or a tablet. So you ought to see your breakout room one way or the other. And to head into that breakout room. If you need help, you can put something in the chat. And, all right. Yes. Okay, so here we go. We're on Facebook Live while the others are in the breakout room. And Rosalind, would you like to share something?
Yes, I would love to. This has been so far such an exquisitely integrated service. Malu, your voice is enchanting and transporting. Your first lesson, let things be exactly as they are, is in a way answered not only by Jennifer's talk, but by your second song, because love is the only thing that's real. So we can afford to open to things being exactly as they are. Even as you say in your song, if it feels like hate or anger or anything we have predetermined is not as good, if we open to that, we open to love. Excuse me. So I love that. And Jennifer read my favorite lesson, although there are many favorites in the course, lesson 189. And the paragraph I love the most, paragraph 7. And I want to say something about resistance while we're talking about things that we don't like. And Jennifer has many different teachings about resistance and a whole toolbox of that in Masterful Living. But I heard something this week which I am enchanted with because it fits with let everything be exactly as it is. And that's that when you have a bow and an arrow, you have to pull back in order for the arrow to go out. You need the resistance of the pullback. And so it's the not just going forward, but it's the pullback that gets you to your target. And isn't that awesome? I thought it was awesome. So we can allow resistance also to be part of what is and welcome it. And even though resistance is typical, it can be part of the flow and we can welcome it. There have been times when I look back onto eating extra food and coffee and chocolate that didn't feel good. It was beyond the portion that felt good. And then I didn't go into the historical judgment, just allowed it to be. And how could this overly keyed up state be beneficial? And I wrote some material that I never would have written in my more peaceful state, more calm state. And it allowed me to see material that was in me, but I might not have dared to write before that moment. And so what can look like even resistance in a typical way, it might not even be resistance. And as Jennifer always says, and always is a word she doesn't prefer, but she says frequently, everything is for my good, as a way of teaching acceptance. So I love that. And I also wanted to say something else about the truly helpful prayer, because truly is a very important part of that helpful. I seem to be coming across more and more people who are over helpers, who are helping as being pleasers or helping in a compulsive way. And so they are having to not be helpers and allow that space to be, let everything be exactly as it is, without helping to find what is truly helpful. So that always tickles me. And just one more little thing. When I feel that I'm in a hole, as Jennifer said just now, yes, I could go within, but another way of going within is to go to that space that is outside my personality, outside my body, that knows that I'm alive, that knows it's behind, beneath, around, behind even the local observer, that place that has no opinion, but it knows that I'm alive. It's the place that drives your car, my car, when I forgot to drive my car and I got there anyway. And that location allows me to witness the movie that is Rosalind. And so I can then step into accepting things exactly as they are, because I'm further away from it. And I'm witnessing as though it was a really good movie, and I'm reacting as we do in a really good movie. And we might even be upset in a really good movie. And then we walk out and we never truly forgot that it was a movie, maybe for a few seconds, but we come back to the balance and say, that was a really good movie. So that's it for me for today.
Thank you, Rosalind. It's always just a bag full of goodies whenever you share. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Faith, how about you? Would you like to share? I think she can't unmute there. Let's see if I can. There.
Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah, I probably only just a little share of Rosalind. What a beautiful insight and share that you had. And I, when I first came on and Malou sang her first song, I was so just moved by the song, her voice, and then her second song, Only Love is Real, is still ringing in my head. And this idea of non-attachment, of allowing, has been so key for me in my life in the last couple of years. And it has really changed everything for me. I found a journal, it's 20 years ago, as I was reading through the journal and what I was saying. And I was like, I didn't even recognize the person in the journal, because there were so many things that were bothering me. So many things that I was in angst about and bothering. And it was like, and I wanted everyone else to change. And that's what was going on. So now just accepting, not accepting that it's whatever the weather is right now, accepting, there's times where we think, oh, if it was only sunny, oh, if it was only this, oh, if it was only that. And I think that becomes a continual wanting in our life, and then we're never satisfied. And certainly that happens to me. And so there is this balance between opening myself up to new things and saying, I would like, that would be, and I love when you say that, I would like that. I like that. I would like that. And instead of being, I need that, or I want that, or if I don't have that, my life will not be full. So it is a constant everyday check-in. And what a beautiful practice that I have now that, and a lot of it has been working with Jennifer and working throughout the years of finding this practice that is so beautiful in the course. And you know what I love about the course and going through all of the workbook is that there's so much gentleness in the course as far as guiding us along of, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that happened yesterday and today's a new day. And I think that allowing that gentleness to be my own way of working with myself in my life and in my spiritual journey is just healing so much. So thank you. Thank you, Malou. Thank you, for Jennifer, for your beautiful talk today. It was just so synchronous. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Faith. Yeah, glad you're here, and glad, yeah, especially glad you get to hear Malou. And Malou, would you like to share something? Oh, we're not hearing you. You're unmuted, but we're not hearing you. There you go.
Now?
Yes.
Good. I'm just feeling really grateful to be here with you all, and yeah, to play the music, and yeah, that has been given to me as well. I still really love the songs that I played, and when I was younger, I tried to write songs, and it was never good enough, and I never finished a song, and now they're just songs flowing, and yeah, they are so dear to me, and I feel really grateful to be able to share with them, and that you can really receive them, and yeah, so yeah, and I love what you all shared, and I haven't really prepared something to say in other words than just through my songs. Just something that has been going on for me the last couple of days is what comes up also now is the theme of forgiving form. Like I can actually, some of you were talking about it already, that the mind still is trying to search in very subtle ways, like, oh, maybe there can be a better form or a better way, and then I think it was yesterday these words came up. Forgive form. Form is, it's not perfect, but the love behind it, if you can constantly see that and be in touch with that, then form, it's just gonna be an expression of abundance, yeah, because you can feel the. So yeah, and I live in Spain and not in Holland, and my parents are here, and it's a beautiful way to moment to practice that. Like, the form might not be perfect, but yes, I can definitely feel love. So that's where I'm at the moment. Yes.
That's a beautiful place to be. Thank you so much. I hope you'll come back and sing for us again. Your beautiful music. Yeah, beautiful. Angela, would you like to share something?
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Yeah, this is a gorgeous service. I'm very touched by your music, Malu. It feels to me like you could be a famous pop star if you wanted, but you're humbly letting your voice be used for the truth. Not that, yeah, maybe the other path is more desirable, but I just feel like you're very, very talented. So very grateful. And yeah, Jennifer, just starting us off in the message today, which I just think there were like so many different lessons that you offered. But this acceptance, today we had a plan to go with another mom and daughter to on a nature walk and to this beach for a picnic. And then the other mom, at the last minute, she kept pushing back the time to be like, oh, can we meet at 11:30? And then that's what I was planning on. And then she said, can we meet at 12? And then I started being like, because I have to be here. So I was like, I have to be home by 2. And then at first, when she shifted it again, my mind went to this place like, well, there are these thoughts because she's younger than me. My thoughts were, she's young, she's cramming everything in, she's irresponsible, this, and we're not going to go, and forget it. And now I could have done this. And it was just this flash of an attack story. And then I said, hold on. Okay, hold on. And then I had to collected myself, like, should we shift our plan? And we shifted the plan so it was closer to home for me. And then guess who was late is me, because even to leave at the time I intended was not as realistic as I didn't know, I was still getting us all ready. So I kind of laughed at myself. But I could feel that moment that you spoke of, just to say, okay, the plan is changing. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's that reaction, but hold on. Let's trust it. Let's trust the plan. Let's trust this new thing. Let's go with it. There was that sense of curiosity, like, okay, maybe this is going to be better. Maybe this is better. And it was beautiful. It was perfect. It was like, so Justine went to sleep 5 minutes before this started, my daughter. And like, so, but it was such a great practical thing that happens all the time, which is like the plan changed and now I'm mad and now I'm going to attack the person and forget it and cut them out of my life. And it's like, hold on, relax. So I had that happen today, which was cool because it prepped me for being, and you said these things happen so we can watch our mind, but not to blame our mind for being bad, but to say, wow, okay, that might come. But if you relax a little, another opening might come. So, okay, you can just let that go by. But is there anything else? Okay. And then, okay. So it was really great demonstration. So that's what I can share. Yeah. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to cycle back since I've got a minute left, because in this time since I've just talked a lot, I like to give everybody else a chance to talk. But since I've got a minute left, I'm going to just cycle back to what Rosalind was talking about with resistance and reluctance. Because one of the most helpful things I learned was we use resistance and reluctance as a motivator sometimes. And the great analogy is those toy airplanes that have the propeller that you wind up. It's got a rubber band is the motor, and you wind it up and wind it up and wind it up until it's really tight, and then it can fly for a moment. And so that's what we do sometimes, is we wind ourselves up and wind ourselves up and wind ourselves up with tension. You better do that. You should do that. If you don't do that, oh my God, why don't you do that? You better do that today. You can't let it go one more day. We think with things that we are resistant about, we wind up all this tension that finally we explode into action, and we motivate ourselves with the tension. And it's just not kind. It's just not kind. So one of the things, because I still do that sometimes, so the thing for me is to go to the place in my mind that is trying to wind up all that tension and just say, let's find the path of peace, let's find the path of love, and surrender the need to build up that resistance and reluctance to the point where it becomes painful. So that's just been helpful. Rosalind.
And I find with that, if I don't judge it, the resistance, it cuts it right away. It just is. It's nothing. It's a moment. It's a thought. It's a behavior. Unless I add paragraphs, it's an undoing right there. I love what you said, Jennifer.
True. Yeah, that's right. It's nothing. Only love is something. Only love is something. And only love is the healer, as Malu's song said. Love is the healer, and that's the only healer that there is, because love is what we are. When we choose love, we are choosing healing. And it's not that love feels like a particular thing. It's just love is. So we don't have to get attached to what love feels like. Just love is. And we could say, love feels like me, because I am love. So that's it. Now, ice cream for everybody.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So how was the breakout? Did anybody make any decisions, have any ahas, any insights? I'd love to, if you share something in the chat, any ahas, insights, breakthroughs, breakdowns, we can all learn and benefit from them. Please share in the chat. I'd love to hear that. So how was the breakout? Was it good? Helpful? All right. Very good. Yeah. It's good to be able to talk in a group that's non-judgmental and we can just say how we feel and what we're thinking. It's wonderful. Yeah. All right. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to make a few announcements. Malu's going to sing another song, and Angela's going to offer a closing prayer, and I'm going to take Bodhi out for another walk. So, by the way, for those who don't know, Bodhi is, her name comes from Bodhisattva. So, Bodhisattva is the being who is dedicating their life to being of service to humanity. The Bodhisattva has an agreement not to attain enlightenment until everybody has attained enlightenment. So the Bodhisattva is the one who's here to help everyone attain enlightenment. And say, you go first, let me help you, you go first. Go ahead of me, please. Yes, yes. And so I aspire to live as a bodhisattva, and my intention is to get a kitten, and Spirit will let me know exactly the right moment for that, just like with Bodhi, to get a kitten and name the kitten Sattva. So it'll be Bodhi and Sattva. So that's... for years, I thought I was going to get a dog and a cat, and they would be Bogey and Bakal. I like that. And then, literally, within days of getting Bodhi, I knew, no, it's Bodhi and Sattva. So, there you go. You know, a healed mind does not plan. All right, so, announcements. I'll go first. I have a couple of announcements. Many of us have had wonderful opportunity to be with Kieran J. Gardner in these Sundays with Spirit. She has a class right now, Course in Miracles class. Her classes are so deep and wide, and it's on true peace, cultivating true peace. And so she's had 1 of 4 sessions. You can jump in now, get session 1, and then join her for the other 3. These classes are, everybody just loves them. So if you'd like a Course in Miracles course with a master teacher, that's the class with Kieran J. And as I spoke a little bit about being a spiritual counselor, and being a spiritual counselor was something that I had a great resistance to. And when I was studying to be a spiritual counselor, I really said, I never want to see clients. I just would like to have the insight and the learning from the training. And what I found was that clients started coming to me, even though I didn't want that. And I had made an agreement with God, if you send me clients, I will see them. But please don't send them. I don't want them. But people came. And what I found is that being a spiritual counselor has been the smartest, most loving things I've ever done for myself, is to sit with folks and see the Christ in them. And amazing wisdom has entered into my awareness because of my willingness to sit with my brothers and sisters and see the Christ in them. So now I actually train spiritual counselors, and I have a whole certification program. One of the pieces of the certification program is my spiritual counseling training intensive. And so people will do the training intensive all by itself as a sort of extracurricular learning for anybody who would like to improve their ability to be in an intimate relationship, to feel connected to their heart, to open to greater intuition, and especially to be able to listen more clearly to our brothers and sisters with compassion and kindness instead of judgment and irritation. And so there's a whole host of benefits to doing the spiritual counseling training intensive, which is in November. Because of COVID, I'm doing it online again this year. It was terrific last year online, and it enables people to come from all over the world who wouldn't be able to leave home, leave their families and jobs and whatnot. So it's for a few hours a day over a course of 8 days. We do 4 days, take 3-day break, and 4 days. So if you're interested, but you're not sure, you can book an exploratory call with one of the certified spiritual counselors who can just answer any question you have. So we'll put the information in the chat, and anybody who's in that program or who's done that might like to put some words in there about the benefits that you got from doing the intensive. That's great. You can share on that. And Masterful Living is coming. People are asking, when will the waiting list open? It's going to open soon, and so you can prepare for that. I'll be offering bonuses this year for people who register for Masterful Living 2022. So that's coming, and I feel like there's, Miracle Circles. Angela, would you like to say something about Miracle Circles?
Sure. Thank you. I'm busy in the chat. So yeah, we're very excited to be bringing to life another one of Jennifer's ideas, or a divine download, inspired ideas. And this is to create groups of people to gather around and have discussions around living A Course in Miracles. So you're all here. The Course in Miracles must be inspiring your life. And we will be having a Q&A next weekend on Saturday, but the page is going live very soon. So if you're a podcast listener, Jennifer's going to talk about it this week. And so we are going to have our page up and live where you can register to be a part of it. We'll have more information, but basically we're just asking for people to come and share your experiences, not to have it be a study group, but to have it be a place people are coming to really share how the course is changing their lives, if they have any challenges, to have a group to support them. So yeah, we're very excited. So more to come on that. That's what I can say for now.
Thank you, Angela. Yes, we're talking about, in the Miracle Circles, we're talking about how we're living A Course in Miracles, not how we're studying it. So it's just a different angle. I find it's more fulfilling, it's more fun. For me, maybe not for everybody, but for me. So that's we're doing what I feel guided to do. So if you feel guided to join us, come along. Yeah, I think those are all the announcements that I have right now.
Maybe the
Yeah.
text, Jennifer, if you
Oh,
want to.
yeah. Thank you. So, yes, people have been signing up for my Course in Miracles text messages. We send inspirational text messages every day. You can sign up for just as little as $1 one time. You can pick a donation amount of any amount that you like, and you can set up a recurring donation. It's very helpful to have you support these services because we don't charge money, obviously, and yet we do pay our speakers and our musicians. We offer them a tithe, and we pay all the staff who work on the Sundays with Spirit. So Angela's here as part of the prayer practitioner training program, but she is a member of the staff, and we have a full staff. GJ is here, he's on staff, and so we pay our staff, of course we do, and so your donations make it possible for us to do these Sundays with Spirit. So thank you. Thank you. We have a big Zoom bill, and and all the websites and web pages and blah blah, all the artwork. It's a lot to do all the pieces for this. So thank you for your contributions of support. And acimtexts.com, acimtexts.com, or you can find it on the events page at jenniferhadley.com. All right, and you can make donations without signing up for text messages too. So just making that clear as well. Yeah, Bodhi gets paid in treats. In treats. I got treats, and I got treats, and I got treats, and treats, and more treats. Oh, now she's waking up. She says, it's time for a treat? Yes, it's time for a treat. It's time for Malou to give us another gorgeous song. And Malou, start, if you have any announcements, your website and things like that, we'd love to know where we can get your music.
Yes. All right. So if you'd like to listen to more of this divine music, you can just go to my website. Like, it's www.malumusic.com. I put it. It's my name now. You can see it, but no space between it, of course. And yeah, there you can click on listen on Spotify. You can click on download my album, and you can also click to see what events are coming up, because I do a monthly online concert. It's donation based. You can just join in, and yeah, you're so welcome. I'd love to see you all. And yeah, I'm a spiritual counselor too. So if you want to book a session, you're also very welcome. Yes. Good. So thank you for sharing this wonderful service together. And last song I'm gonna play for you is also based on 2 lessons of A Course in Miracles. Lesson 113 and 114. And the song is called I Am One Self. I am one self, I am completely whole, I am one with all creation. I am one self, I am completely whole, I am one with all creation. I am the Son of God, nobody can contain my spirit, nor impose on me a limitation. God created not, God created not. I am one self, I am completely whole, I am one with all creation. I am one self, I am completely whole, I am one with all creation. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. What can my function be but to accept the word of God, who has created me for what I am and will forever be, and will forever be. I am one self, I am completely whole, I am one with all creation. I am one self, I am completely whole, I am one with all creation. one should be but to accept the word of God, who has created me for what I am and will forever be, and will forever be. I am one self. I am completely whole. I am one with all creation. We are one self. We are completely whole. We are one with all creation.
Thank you, Malou. Thank you so much for joining us. So much. So grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Angela, you're going to take us home with a prayer.
Thank you. So grateful to place my hand on my heart and to acknowledge the gifts we've received here today. It is so clear how loved we are. It is so clear that love is everywhere. So we receive this bounty, this abundance. We thank you, Malu. We thank you, Jennifer, for letting the love and the light stream through you and into our hearts. We go forth, of my friends, the mighty Care Bears, we go forth to beam light and love out from our being to all of those we get to meet. We go forth with gratitude in our hearts. And so we simply say thank you and amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So glad you were with us today. Mwah. Have a great week.